Let's take a few breaths and use this as a moment to scan through our body, helping to relax anything that already feels a little bit of tightness. So feeling into the feet, the calves, thighs, hips, abdomen, chest, arms and hands, shoulders and neck, and all the muscles of the face relaxing. As we're completely relaxed and at ease here, we'll start to connect with our intention. The intention for today is the idea of water, the element of water, helping us to take on some of its qualities. So water, first of all, this can be an invitation perhaps of inviting moisture into our desert. That could be part of your intention perhaps. And water itself is flexible, it flows, it's at ease, it takes the easiest path. And the more water continues to flow, the cleaner the water becomes. And so let's take that idea into our practice today. In any pose that we were given, feel free to have absolute permission to flow and to wiggle in it so that it's almost like we're purifying our water. And also visualize what you're flowing toward. Imagining that perhaps I'm flowing toward peace, love, hope, joy, any of those qualities, even just gratitude that we're flowing toward. And so with all these water-like qualities to help lead us into our practice, let's start off taking the knees into the chest. And as we rock around just a bit on the hips and the low back, just have continual flow, continual motion. Constantly moving around, finding good things. Beautiful. So from here, set this left foot down. Right leg gets to stretch up to the sky. And start off with that foot having just continuous flow. Maybe the toes are wiggling about. And maybe this is hitting really good stuff for your body. So you just continue to stick with the foot. Or maybe the rest of your leg wants to start wiggling too. Maybe going back and forth between a slight bent knee and then a straighter leg. Maybe every breath you're trying to pull the leg in a little bit closer. So find whatever type of flow helps this right leg to feel really helpful. Take a moment to allow this right leg to open super wide to the right. Right hand can help weigh the leg down. Good breath. And then as the leg comes back up, let's take right ankle up onto left thigh. Hands can thread around that left side. And find ways to have that little bit of flow here. So maybe this is rocking left and right. Maybe it's the ankle that's moving. Or perhaps making the clasp go around the thigh. This left leg gets the chance to straighten and bend. So any type of movement and flow, that water-like quality that feels good here, feel free to invite it in. Keeping the ankle here, release the hands, opening them up on the floor, and send this position with the legs like this all the way over to the left. We're starting to get into the hip IT band. If you don't feel this as deep as you'd like to, you could place the left fingers on that right knee, helping to invite the knee higher, upward, pointing to the sky. Or perhaps you're scooting the legs closer to that left shoulder. Find a good place to pause and breathe. And consider how when you step in a river, the river will never be the same again as that first moment. Every step you take, it's new water, ever changing, ever flowing. And so think about how that can relate to our life. We're never exactly the same person. We're always introduced to new choices. And we always have this opportunity to choose something different today than we've chosen every other day previous. Enjoy another deep breath cycle here. Wonderful inhale. Good exhale. Uncross the ankle, send it to a couple of breaths. So it's just a simple twist. Knees stacked on top of one another. And our right hand can grab the right foot behind our back. We can either stay leaning toward this side for that right quad stretch, or we can return partway or all the way onto our back, depending on what will help that right quad without hurting the knee. So find a good place to travel toward. Then whenever you find yourself there, we've got a few beautiful breaths to just enjoy it. You know, whenever I'm by a body of water, it tends to make life more relaxing. Like our worries can just float right away. So imagine that happening for you here. Another inhale. And with the exhale, we can lean as far over to the left as we need to free out that right leg. Right foot plants. Left leg up to the sky. Maybe we start off working on the foot, the ankle. Maybe we stay there or continue to go up the leg, bending and straightening, or just continuing to tug in. It's never exactly with stillness. Start to invite the left leg open to the left. This is almost like how water fills in every little crack. We're trying to fill in and tune into all those little pieces in our body that maybe we don't exactly move into that frequently. Good, leg back up. And ankle on thigh, hug around. Find whatever gentle movements are helpful here. Arms start to open, legs fall like this over to the right. So thinking about how the river is never the same river twice, that's almost permission in itself for us to forgive ourselves from the past. We realize I'm not the same person today that I was yesterday. So even though maybe I made a mistake, I'm different now. And having that realization helps us to realize that we can forgive others because they're also never the same person again. They're constantly changing and learning and readjusting and flowing. Let's release this ankle. Simple twist, knees stacked for a moment. When you're ready for the quad stretch, left hand grabs left ankle from behind. We can stay on the side body or we can return part way down on toward our back. Anything that helps that quad. Beautiful. Inhale. Exhale, start to free out the legs from here. When the hips are back down onto the ground, point both legs up to the sky. Legs are glued together like a mermaid tail. Hands are on the floor by the hips. And we're going to let the legs start to trace circles. So maybe it starts off just the size of a tennis ball. One circle clockwise. Immediately go counterclockwise. Just stay with this size, going back and forth, clock and counterclockwise. Maybe you stay with this size, or maybe you're increasing the size to about a beach ball. Either way, taking 3 more cycles. 3. 2. And eventually heading to that last cycle to each direction. Whenever you finish, let the knees open, slide the hands to the feet, happy baby pose. Once again, this could be with stillness, helping the hips open. It could be rocking left and right. You could even let one leg at a time stretch up to the sky and switch it to the other. It's whatever helps our body. Okay, so coming back to stillness. From here, let's work our way up toward a seated place. Heading to cobbler whenever you're ready. So start to notice, if you haven't already, a large section of the poses we'll be taking today are in the hip area. That's because with the sacral chakra, that chakra that's over the hip, the element of that area is the element of water. We're helping to open up that hip area, and in so doing, we're connecting with that energy of water, that flow, constant change. So as we're here in cobbler, find the hands on the floor and give your spine permission to start swaying, as if you're perhaps a piece of seaweed, just kind of swaying with the current of water. You let the neck even be loose, starting to work out some of the tension that might be present there. Eventually find stillness. Right back in the center. Take a good inhale. One more exhale here. Inhale to let the spine rise back up. We'll leave this left leg in front of us as it is. The right leg we're going to flip around. A little hint, the further out to the side the knee goes, the easier it is for the knee. The further forward it is, the deeper it is on that knee and the quad. So whichever place you choose, let's start off by heading backwards. We're planting our hands behind us. If you still want more, maybe go down to left elbow. Sometimes a right elbow is also possible, but don't feel any need to pressure that knee any further than it wants to go. Another good inhale. And exhale, we'll start to reverse our way back up. We can either lean over the angle of that left thigh, that'll be the easier direction, or lean directly forward to top of mat, that'll be the deeper direction, your choice. Start to feel how the low back is starting to receive. So with our gentle rising back up, let's free out the legs, switching them to the other direction. Heading backward when you get that set up, maybe right elbow. No need to push it. One more breath cycle in. Exhale, reverse our way back up. Lean over either the left thigh direction or directly forward. Sorry, I guess that would be right thigh direction. Beautiful. Rising back up from here. Send our legs underneath our body. And as we come to a kneeling place, you can just take the normal cat-cow. The invitation, if it feels appropriate, play with any other type of flowing for your spine. So maybe sometimes it wants to go up and down. Maybe sometimes left and right. Maybe sometimes kind of a circular motion for the ribcage. So let yourself have some freedom with that back. Tend to find a flow that's working for your body. And 2 more breaths, whatever we're exploring into. Good. And then from this next movement, you have 2 options. The easier option is to go back and forth between child pose and coming forward to a slight back bend, more like a cobra. So that's option 1 if you'd like to play with that. Option 2, instead of child, we go up to down dog. So going between down dog, then forward to plank, hips down to up dog. So either way, we're going to take several rounds. You could play with both options if they're both feeling good for you. Maybe about 3 more cycles of whatever's working. Know that your spine doesn't have to be rigid. You could kind of roll up in an undulation of the whole spine if that's helpful. Let's go 2 more cycles. And last one. And then lower directly down onto the knees. Hips are staying over the knees. Start to walk the hands forward to puppy pose. We're allowing the heart to arch. Maybe forehead can go down, but some people can even flip the chin to be down. So choose whichever back bend and heart opener feels really helpful. Good. And from here, imagine somebody grabbed onto your hips and they're pulling your hips toward your feet. So start to sink back to child. And torso lifts up. We're either sitting on our feet or coming up to the high kneeling position if that's too intense. We're trying to clasp our hands behind our back. Posture's tall. And like a big grandfather clock, the arms are going to try to go tick-tock to the left and to the right. Easing with this gentle motion into the shoulders. Once more each side. Beautiful. Once we're back up, release the hands. Let's play with downward facing dog. Have constant movements. Knees can bend or hips can kind of wiggle, circling. Good. Start to float the right leg up to the sky. Allow the knee to bend so that you can send the toes a little bit further toward your back. This will help stretch the front part of the right hip. And then straightening the leg out, square the hips down. Step this foot to the outside of right hand. Back knee sinks down. And from here, we're either on wrist, just kind of enjoying the spot for a moment, or you can drop further down to lizard. And coming back up onto hands. Leave the left hand down, right hand goes to right knee. We're going to gently pulse, pushing that hip open, kind of sink the left one down, and then return back up to where you were initially. Kind of easing into a deeper hip place and backing back off. Let's take 3 more of those. 2, and 1. Good. Planting your hands down, walk the hands back, the legs going a little bit wider than we sometimes do for the half split, but that's okay, let it happen. So engage slightly different muscle groups currently. Good. Front knee bends again, plant the hands, tuck the back toes. We're going to try to step directly into three-legged dog with that right leg floating. Beautiful. Set the right foot down. Left foot starts to fly. Maybe bend the knees and make the toes behind you. I like to try to think of rotating the knee to point up to the sky. That hip flexors gives that good release. So one more good breath in. Exhale, find extension, straightening through the leg, hips square, and left foot steps to outside the left hand. Right knee down. This is the lizard first, so you can be on hands or elbows, whatever's helpful. Okay, back up. Right hand stays, left hand is at the knee. We've got those 5 gentle pulses. So push the hip open, maybe right gets closer to the ground, and then back off. 4. 3. 2. Last one. Good. Plant the hands, straighten that front leg. It's a little bit wide. And just keep on leaning forward. From here, as we work to plant the hands a little bit closer to the top, you can lift up the back knee, scoot this left leg up to three-legged dog. And when we drop that foot down, let this down dog be with motion. You could always add in an additional flow if you're working on that. Up to you. Otherwise, just continual movement of the legs in the down dog, until eventually you feel ready to come up to the top of the mat. No rush to get there. It's only when your body feels ready to move on. Even in the standing forward fold, have continuous movement. So this could be the knees. You can get into really good juicy spots of the thighs if you wiggle one knee at a time. Or it could be about the spine, kind of just swaying the spine left and right. Good. Coming to stillness for an inhale, and exhale, and inhale, rise. Hands to heart. Beautiful. Working into the front of the right hip, we're going to leave the left foot forward, step the right foot back. We do want to have the heel just a little bit lifted at first. Let's kind of back to a lunge shape. Hands are wherever the best balance is. They can be at heart, they can be over the sides. But the idea is you sink into the legs, so front knee bends. And the idea is we're feeling this right hip as we sink down. Then gently bring the legs back up. And so sinking down, feel the right hip. And up. 3 more of those. Trying to keep this back leg as straight as it can stay. 2. Last one. Good. Rotate the back heel down. Clasp the hands behind the back. Front knee can still be bent. And we bow forward into a nice shoulder stretch. Good. Start to drop the hands down. We're going to rise up to warrior one for a moment. And rotate open to warrior two. From here, 3 nice gentle cycles going between extended side angle. Feel the whole spine moving and flowing as if we're in water. Rising up, reverse it. There's never exactly an end. It's just kind of a flow. It just is natural for the next spot to be lifting back up. So once more, forward. And backward. Warrior two. Good. And then this right long edge of the mat, start turning your body that direction. Toes are out to 45-degree angles. We're squatting down but resting hands on the inner parts of the knees. I like to lock the arms straight as my chest leans forward, my hips go back. So my locked arms are then able to push the hips open. So maybe a slight shift left and right, just a matter of inches. Back to stillness, right shoulder rotates forward. And left. So once more each side. Beautiful. Straightening the legs. Shift forward over the front straight leg. And then slide down to pyramid for a moment. Just enjoy how deep we can dive here. Try to smoothly step that right foot to be next to the left foot. And return back to the constant movement in the forward fold, whether that's the back swaying or the knees bending. Inhale to rise up. And exhale, hands down to the heart. Second side, we'll keep the right foot forward. Step the left foot back to the lunge with the heel slightly lifted. Hands are whatever that best balance point is. And then we try to get into the front left hip now. So sink down until you feel it. Sometimes my spine even needs to arch back just a hair. Good. And then a little bit of lift. Going down for 4, 3, 2, last one, and back heel rotates down, hands clasped, shoulder opener, bow forward over the front bend knee. Good. Releasing hands, a brief moment, warrior one, lift up. Warrior two, open. And 3 flows with our breath. Move forward, extended side angle. Coming up to reverse. 2. And 1. Warrior 2. And this time, as we straighten both legs, turn the toes directly to this long edge of the mat. Clasp the hands behind the back for a little shoulder opener as we bow forward. And releasing the hands. Find a good favorite position for the hands. And then returning to motion, our hands are out in front of us to help us out as we start to bend the right knee and bend the left knee. You could absolutely stay higher up like this, or we could even go so far to go to that low squat over each side. It's up to you and your knees, how much motion and what kind of fluid movement is working for you. On your way, let's take it about once more each side. And then we'll let both knees bend, roll our spine upright. Rotate on the heels to face forward, maybe shortening the stance to go toward pyramid. Imagining it's almost like we're a deep sea diver. We're trying to explore the uncharted territory here. How deep is your body willing to release? Smoothly slide the back foot forward. Another moment with movement. Anything that feels helpful. Could even be a minuscule thing, like a matter of millimeters. And next inhale to rise. Good. Hands to heart. Shift your weight into the left foot. Start to rotate the right open for a tree. Maybe it climbs a bit higher. You choose how high. If this is about all the balance can handle, just stay. This is great. If the arms can open out to left and right, try to go to that branch direction. And if this is still working okay, we'll take a few rounds of rotating the torso toward the right and toward the left. Rather than being super rigid with the arms, almost make it like it's water, just kind of gently flowing and swaying. It's hard, so no stress. If you're doing this way, maybe once more each direction. And then when we're back forward, as we drop the right foot down, let that left foot have a little massage. Lots of circles to help loosen anything that was working really hard there. Good. Then whenever you're ready to plant left foot, imagine sending root smiles down. The right thigh starts to open. Or sorry, I'm on the second side. So stand on right foot. Left starts to open and then start to climb the foot up back. Good. Maybe hands to heart, maybe opening. Make sure you're solid here, at least stable enough. And then perhaps that fluid quality. Right and left. Maybe once more each. No stress. Your standing foot can have that massage. Good work. So that feels good. Up to the top, keeping an inhale, sweep up. Again, it's like we're in water. There's not really an in. But all of a sudden we realize we're going all the way forward. Half lift. And then sliding down, we can either go straight to down dog and play there, or perhaps you'd like to add in a flow. Try to take on some of the quality of water, as if it's the water bringing you into any shape. It's not you getting there. It just kind of is like, okay, I guess my body's going here now. Good. From down dog, let's float the right leg again, nice and high. And we'll step right foot to outside of right hand. Back knee can drop down. This time, we're walking our hands long to this top left edge of the mat. We're still trying to sink the hips forward, but rather than collapsing toward this left side, the hips need to counterbalance a little bit, shifting slightly backwards. Feel yourself easing the spine really long, almost like that straight spine from down dog. Good, and then returning our hands back onto the mat. We're gonna head to pigeon. So this right foot can cycle to left side. Let the knees start to drop down. If the back knee still has space to scoot backwards, let it continue to scoot until we're ready to have this beautiful release forward. And if it feels extremely deep, rather than stressing about the depth, imagine once again, it's like, I'm not in this pose. If we're in the element of earth, it's like the structure is you. But when we're in water, imagine the water kind of just brought our body into this shape. It's almost closer to how a mother, brings their baby into certain shapes by swaddling them or by holding them in a certain way. And it's less about your effort, more about just the water bringing you here. So in that way, it's more fluid and there's a deeper release, less strenuous here. So keep the breath flowing, just like that quality of water. Take 3 more good deep breath cycles. Good. After that third one, we'll purposely rock our weight onto that right hip. Left leg swings all the way around in front. This could end up in cross-legged, in left shin stacking, or in knee stack, whatever works best here. And when we find this shape, take your right elbow under your left elbow for eagle's arms. It's okay if backs of hands are not touching that well. You could either reach here or just let them rest together. But let your elbows start to take on a fluid motion. So this could be swaying left and right. It could be a rotation. You could lift them up and down, or even forward and backward. There's so many different angles we can play with. So let yourself explore through the shoulder area for a couple of more breaths. To the next inhale, come to stillness, spine upright. Release the hands, circling them up to the sky. Take an inhale. Exhale, right hand forward, left hand back to a simple twist. Inhale up. Exhale, second side. Inhale up. Exhale, hands to the ground in front of us, and continue to slide forward. Start to return back up. When we uncross the legs, we've got one last down dog. So travel up. Feel free to include any wiggles that are helpful. So the left leg. And step left foot to outside of left hand. When we lower the back knee, this is the one where the hips have to go a little bit backwards so that we can walk a long spine off that top right edge. Getting a whole new section of our hip because we're sinking into it to a slightly different angle. Okay, walking the hands back onto the mat. These left toes go over to the right until the knee can settle down for pigeon. Back knee perhaps scoots further back. And then we can drop down to elbows. And sink deeper for 3 more breaths. That third one, we can rest onto left hip. Right leg starts to swing forward, cross leg, shin stack or knee stack. Whatever allows sitting bones to be down. This time left elbow will try to go under. We'll take some time with that fluid movement, getting all around those shoulders. So as long as you get the second side, you're good. Right, so up, down, left, right, forward, backward. There's lots of angles we can play with. Inhale, we'll release, circle the arms up, and take a twist, pick one side, inhale up, second side, inhale up, exhale hands to the floor, last chance to ease into hips, glutes, low back. Allow it to ease open. Walking the hands in. As we release, let yourself flow toward your Shavasana. So if there's any last things that need to be stretched, flow into those poses very easily. Eventually it's just natural, almost like a waterfall, just to start making your way onto the back. Just keep these little movements, this easing sensation all the way until sooner or later, Shavasana is our experience. We found ourselves almost like a river flowing into the ocean. Now we're a part of it all. We're ready to release and open. Perhaps it would be helpful to take the image for your Shavasana of imagining that you're on a surfboard and your board is just easily flowing with that slight rocking of the waves. Perhaps every inhale and exhale are like that ocean wave, helping to ease you toward relaxation, toward ease. Just let this breath flow. Inhales and exhales. Introducing little movements back to fingers and toes, ankles and wrists. Stretching out like we're waking up first thing in the morning. Eventually taking a nice fetal position off to one side. Enjoying this for a few breaths until we feel ready to rise. As we join our hands together in front of the heart, think of all the qualities of water that we've discussed through class. The quality of ease, how it just flows downstream. The quality of constant change. The quality of being able to accumulate into a whole new area, like the river changing to the ocean. So pick a quality of water that particularly stands out to you. And as we travel into the rest of this beautiful day, try to embody this aspect of water. And so with water, that inspiration to lead us on, let's wrap up the time we got to share together today with the sound of Om. Deep inhale together now. May we be filled with light, happiness, and peace. Namaste.